In this video, let's start talking about static websites and Amazon S3 to host them. So hosting static websites, by static, I mean sites that don't need to be computed with a programming language, that you can just serve the HTML, CSS, JavaScript, images, whatever it is as they are. So this is pretty important. First for costs, I'd say. We saw that on web hosting tools, they usually charge like 20 bucks a month for a website. With static websites, you can do that for $2, $3 a month. And it's also more secure, more reliable, and truly useful. They can go a long way. So let's see how to build and publish them. So before we get started with the coding, I want to show where the code is. So I encourage you to try to build your repository and your own code, but if you'd like to see this example, it's on github.com, ProdBytes DSP for delivering software projects. This is where all the samples of this series are hosted, including here in samples static website simple, which I'm gonna show you right away. So I have it already open on my VS Code, and this is my simple static website. And here we can see that this is just an index.html file. This is the usual convention for the first page that will be open when you type in the address. And I have a few resources here, like this cute cat to be displayed on my page. So my page is really simple. And if you're unfamiliar with the language, don't worry. We're going to go through the example line by line. So this is HTML, JavaScript, and CSS, which is the basics of the web. So all the web is built upon this. And HTML declares the structure of the page with these tags. The name of the tag is in angle brackets and closing with slash and angle brackets. And H1 is a heading one, so the title is hello. Then we have a paragraph, and this paragraph is style, is customized with a CSS, which just says that the font weight should be bold. So this is cascading style sheets in a very simple declaration. Of course, this could be a separate file, way more complicated. I just want to show the basics here. And then a phrase in the paragraph. And then in the following paragraph, we have something special. We have a click counter inside this span with an ID, and this ID is important so we can reference it in our function, our JavaScript, which we're going to see when we get there. Then there's a link, and the link points to a page which explains the origin of this meme. And it's targeted at a new page. So it will open in a new browser tab. And inside the link, an image with the cat, the description of the image, and this onClick function, which will tell me what needs to be done when this element is clicked. And here I'm gonna simply get the element by click count ID. So this will return this span element that I can manipulate. This is called the DOM, the document object model. So I can get elements of the page, interact with them, and set the text content to the text content +1. And I just need to parse this string to a number so I can make this math operation with the function parseInt. So that's a little bit of JavaScript for you. Not the greatest JavaScript, to be honest, but you can do your own JavaScript. And this is how they interact. The HTML defines the structure of the page. The style defines how they look like, and the function defines the behavior. And every website you see out there is a variation and deepening in these three basic languages. So I highly recommend you take a look and learn as you go. Nobody knows all tags, all functions, all CSS. It's an interesting thing to ask AI, to see examples, and to learn it little by little. And to see this rendered, to see this working, I can just open this in my File Explorer and open this page on my browser. So if I open here, even without hosting, so I'll just open this on my local machine, I can see my page, the Hello Cat, and if I click it in another tab, I'm gonna see the link, and I can see that I clicked one time because my counter is there. So if I click again, I clicked 2 times. And this is exactly what I expected from our page. So this is how it goes. And now to serve it on Amazon, I'm gonna go to Amazon S3 and create a bucket and configure it to host our static website. So I'll create a new website and I'll say, can I has cheeseburger? And I'll go with basically the defaults. The only thing I want to change is enable ACLs. We're going to use that in a little bit to make the objects public and remove the block public access. And let's understand this acknowledgement that the objects are public. So when you publish a website, any way it is, it uses resources, right? A network and things like that. And somebody has to pay for it. And when you are serving the website, usually you are the one paying for it. It's possible to do it in other ways, but usually you are serving. And there's no control here of who's getting this object, so you could see many requests. And again, this is usually $1 or $2 a month, but there is a slightly risk, let's say, that some evil person is going to download your website many times just to make you a hit on your wallet. And this may sound scary, but actually it's not a lot. It's more expensive probably for the person to do this than for you on Amazon S3. We're going to see in future episodes how can we mitigate this risk. We can certainly detect and prevent that. But websites on S3, static websites on S3 are really simple. So I just want to get this published and in the simplest way possible. So let's go ahead and create this bucket. Once the bucket is created, here we can upload the files. So I'll just add the files that we just created. So I will just navigate to that folder on my local computer. Here it's on my Windows subsystem for Linux. So that's why the long path. But anyway, I'll just take the 2 files and upload them. So they will be available in the bucket. And here in permissions, you set who can access this file. Because by default, everything you put on your project is private. Everything you add to the bucket will be visible only to you. But as I want to serve this, I'll grant public read access. And again, that's the same risk of making objects public. That is not free. So once my objects are uploaded, I can go to properties and static website hosting. In the end, I'll add it and enable static website hosting. host a static website and say that the page I want to serve is index.html. And if you want, you can set error document and redirection rules and things like that. I'll just go ahead with a simple website. With that, here in the website configuration, you can see the endpoint. I will just click this or copy it, so it will open our website on S3. So there it is. You can see that it's hosted on an S3 URL, and it works the same. If I click it, it will open the page and show how many times it was clicked. And if we check S3 pricing, so S3 pricing, we can see exactly how much this costs, right? So here on the storage pricing, it's 2 cents per gigs. So it's, for this file, it's, well, not even a few kilobytes. So it's a fraction of a penny. And also the network out, right? The request, right? I made a GET request, so it's one more fraction of a cent, and the data out. So the cost is really pennies per to serve this, and as they accumulate, it may get to a few dollars. So in my case, in my websites on S3, this is usually less than $5 a month for a static website, but this can vary and of course will for everybody. And you can go a long way with static websites. Let me show you one that I built. So this is a site I built for my father memory. And here we can see the publications. He was a journalist, so I can see like the publications he wrote, and here the actual files. And when you open one, you can see the content, and all of that is done without a single server. So everything you see is delivered statically. And there's another interesting website called html5up.com, which provides very nice templates that you can use. So if you want, for example, this massively website, so it's a nice template with a good styling that you can just download, change the images, change the text, and publish on your S3 bucket. You can download, and it will give you the HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and everything you need to customize your website. So here it is, and you will find the index HTML, the images, the assets, and everything else you need. So here it's opening from a zip file, so it couldn't understand it, but you can see the files, the references, the code, everything you need. And when you publish, it's going to look like this. And of course, there's the author and a paid version called Pixelarity with more templates that there are also very fine. But again, this is one way to learn. Check out these templates. There are many templates, one cooler than the other. So I also like this multiverse. And also you can ask AI, and AI will code similar things for you, but always take a look at the code and try to learn what's going on. And this is how you can publish static websites on S3. I hope you like it and use it. See you in the next one.